Welcome back to our coverage of the Bailey's National Sevens here in Bay of Plenty. And up next is County's Manukau. Taking on Southland County's Manukau, Nambo, their captain, Ropati Lefau, Tamataini, Stowers, Guthrie, and Gilbert Clark. South Canterbury starting 7, Tau Fafita, Lot, Waikuni, Kotum Blava, Maia and Via. Joining commentary by Ken Laban. And Ken, first match for these two teams. They've watched the action so far from 10 o'clock this morning, and they want to get to a great start.
Yes, they are, and a lot of these teams, particularly those that don't have the depth of the other sides, are normally at their best on the first day. South Canterbury, they were very impressive at the Southern Zone Regionals in Timaru just before Christmas. And the County's Manukau, of course, dominant at Northern Regionals when they took out the title.
Game underway. First possession for County's Manukau. Ropati with the catch and then the release. Stowers, that lovely step that we've seen on a number of occasions. Sherwin Stowers now into the backfield. The offload.
Keep working.
Lefau. Look how quickly, though, South Canterbury were able to get back. That's a good sign early in the match. There's that number, a big 115k Fijian, goes into contact. He's lost the ball forward.
Off his leg.
That's come off his leg, so play on. The fight now, full position on the ground.
Heads out, Green.
Ropati clears. They've got a big lineup out here to the right. Stepping on the inside now, having the angle and the pace as well. He'll race away for the first try. Taumatieni, young Jonathan from Wesley College. And that's the perfect start for County's Manukau.
It is indeed, and it was Sherwin Stowers, the class and the presence of an international player of his status and presence that set the play up with a brilliant run down the right-hand side. And then County's Manukau's ability to keep the ball alive in the tackle. And once they got in behind the South Canterbury defence, they were in disarray, forced to readjust, and in the end, too many go. This Sherwin Stowers with a beautiful right foot step to get him into the backfield. And then a draw and pass for Tyrone Lefau. He was so good in Waikato, the Northern Regionals. And he's able to chip the ball back on the inside. Look how they changed the point of attack. And then an easy finish for Taumatieni, a kid with a big future. Nice try.
Well, he read the drift nicely, didn't he? They were moving across field on defence, and so he just straightened it up and his pace did the rest.
County's Manukau being coached by Daryl Suasua. Man that had so much success with the Black Ferns in his capacity as the national coach of them over a number of years. As Lot goes one way and then pulls back and looks for some support. South Canterbury were definitely one of the great teams in Timaru last month at the regional tournament. And this is what they did so effectively, was just hold on to possession and wait for the gaps. Tau, now Tau showing some real pace, trying to get on the outside. One to beat. Tau stepping on the inside, beating the defender. Number will come at him, but Tau scores. Great response from South Canterbury.
Right down the name of this kid, Edenemo Tau. That is a good as individual try that we will see over the course of the next 2 days. A lot of ground to cover defence coming across for him, but able to maintain his composure and his pace. Look at this, just outside the 22, gets away with a left foot step, down the left side, and now it's a foot race. 3 defenders have dropped off the chase, and then a little inside play, and he's got rid of 4 defenders. That is a brilliant individual try from Edenemo Tau.
Well, not just his athleticism, it was just his summing up of the situation. He could see the cover defence coming across, knew he backed himself to just prop, let them run past, take the inside run. That's the best, probably the best individual try we've seen so far today on day 1 of the Bailey Sevens.
Quality match this between these two provinces. South Canterbury punch and counter punch. Edenemo Tau had a lot of work to do. All tied up 7-all. 3.5 gone. Tap back by Ropati. Guthrie comes up. That's been off the leg, so play on. Maia. Vaya picks it up. Looks for a gap. Closes very, very quickly. Fafita now the offload. One of the smaller players on the field is Lot. He backs back and then he goes forward. A little sweeper.
They're playing with confidence, aren't they?
There's plenty of that. It's only from a team that's performed very well in Timaru. And look at them, not afraid to go into contact against the bigger Counties Manukau side. Lot is there. He's won his team the penalty. Lot quickly taps. Not too many players out to his right, so he just runs across, and now he'll pull back, look for someone in the pocket. Someone needs to go straight here. It's one of their big defenders. And Joeli Kotonblau. Quick hands required here from South Canterbury. Could be their second. The pop pass up. Has that gone forward? No, says the referee. And Sam Vere will score South Canterbury second.
The ability to offload the ball in the tackle, whether it's the sevens games or the larger format in the 15s game, is one of the hardest things to defend against. Players that can keep the ball alive in spite of the attention of one or two defenders. And this is a very good example of how damaging you can be offensively if you've got players who can offload the tackle and players that are prepared to back up.
Well, you just compare the offloading, that might have just gone a little bit forward, but you compare the offloading, the accuracy of it, and the support play to what we saw in the previous game with Tasman, who right throughout the game tried to offload the ball and most of the time just ended up giving it to Northland. It's a great ploy, but you've got to get it right, and these guys are doing it superbly. And one of the big guns, Counties Manukau, under pressure now.
Extremely warm conditions here in Rotorua, 26 degrees was the expected high. Certainly reached that.
It's been vainly looking around for the bloke doing the muscle fritters. Disturbingly not here yet, Ken.
Roll party back to his captain, Numbo, who controls possession. What can Counties Manukau do from their own 22? Plenty of class players, we know that. Here's one of them, and Stowers decides to come back against the grain and now looks for someone to straighten it up. This is better play from Counties Manukau, showing some real patience. Numbo, lot to beat. Little defender comes in and makes the tackle, and now the offload here. Gilbert Clark, the inside pass. Gilbert Clark is there on support. It's gone back up to Numbo. Now they've got players here. Counties Manukau should score. Stowers needs to look to his right, doesn't need to. Puts down the accelerator and runs around to score Counties Manukau second.
Too big, too strong, and too much skill. Counties Manukau out on that left edge. That was a tremendous example of players with power and their ability to deal with defenders coming in, keep the ball alive in the end. A relatively simple finish for Sherwin Stowers. But I'm so impressed with the quality of the game that we've seen today of both of these teams and what they brought to this contest, with their ability to play in traffic, keep the ball alive, back each other up, and get very good result on the end of it.
Yeah, unfortunately for South Canterbury there, players just the defence got bent out of shape because too many of them were drawn across to this side of the field. You can see them coming from everywhere just to try and desperately stop. It was valiant stuff, but what it meant was that when the ball came out on the open side, well, it was Sherwin Stowers and 3-4 others, and it was just no contest. That's been a good first half.
Conversion is the difference in the first 7 minutes of this game, where Counties Manukau leads South Canterbury by 14-12.
Yeah, defence is very wide. But for us, the thing that's going to be really important is our defence. If we're going to shut up some of those guys, we just spread right across the field, man on man. So we're not putting any pressure on them. Come forward. Just one thing, the one out here, don't come flying out of the line. We just need to pull that jockey so we're working together. Cover each other's backs.
Just like, if they go wide, we can't afford for them to get it back out there. Because if they get wide, well, we should shove that.
Well, Stowers, hold your line. He's stepping it. Okay. They're the number 2 seeds and we're the 15th. There's no way that there's any difference between us.
We can do this, boys. We can win.
We can win it. Exactly what Joeli said before the game.
Let's do it, boys.
Okay? Let's do it, eh?
That's what you got into inside that defense. Just keep 7 minutes, boys.
That's a quality message, Tony Johnson, from the South Canterbury coach. We shouldn't even be in this contest. They're second, we're 15. There's only 2 points the difference.
Well, when they keep their shape, they look just as good.
Yeah, absolutely right. Tells you, look at the quality of the try. South Canterbury have got a good, brilliant individual try, a brilliant show of offloading, keeping the ball alive. They can get this done if they're good enough.
And Ken, we saw Daryl Suasua, but more importantly, one of the greats of the game, not only in 15s and 7s for Manu Samoa, Simo Satiti, also in frame.
We did indeed. What a player he was. Long and illustrious career as captain of Manukauat.
Oh, he became one of the most respected figures in the international game for a time, Samuel Satiti.
Stay behind red.
Once saw him speak in an aftermatch in 4 different languages.
The restart of the second half that's bounced up. They allowed it to bounce because their sweeper there and George Lott hadn't taken it on the full, and so they put themselves under pressure. South Canterbury, and the referee agrees, and here's Counties Manukau with first possession in the second half. The quick tap and looking to go forward is Guthrie. The offload, too much power, and he's over. Gilbert Clark, Jamie Gilbert Clark, the 24-year-old, opens the account for Counties Manukau in the second half.
South Canterbury paying the price for not taking the kick-off on the full. They conceded possession, ended up being a contest when it needn't have been if they'd taken it cleanly. And then the quick tap 2 passes later, Gilbert Clark in for a relatively simple try in the end.
Yeah, probably the difference between the two sides there, guys, was that one team was fully switched on and the other one was still in a bit of standby mode. They just got caught a little bit cold there. It's South Canterbury. There they are there. Daryl Suasua, of course, had an illustrious career as coach of the New Zealand women's team. Samuel Satiti behind him. It's a very fine duo to have as your coaching staff.
On that occasion, the ball into touch means that possession back to South Canterbury on the halfway. They've just got to keep their shape, and we saw it in a number of games where the big wigs put on the power in the second half, Ken, and I suppose South Canterbury just need to try and get some confidence as they did in the first 7 minutes.
He did. I was just going to observe Tony Johnson. Daryl Suasua had to coach Mel Robinson. Wouldn't have been easy.
It's a wonder he's got any hair at all, and some of it's still dark.
Tamaruni goes into contact. South Canterbury doing it right here. Just getting players into the second half as Locke runs across the line and looks for someone to straight toe one of the try scorers. Numbok knocks it backwards, and so an advantage here for Counties Manukau. That's all the experience there from the man they call the Eel. And Sekeli Numbok getting over the ball, tapping it back, and then winning possession.
Numbok's been a terrific performer for Counties over the last couple of years.
Okay, 3 calls from
guy
me.
who's come on the
3
field in
actions from you guys,
ITM
okay?
Cup games. He's been able to change games.
Crouch.
Really
5.
great skill set for a big man.
Sit.
Split here for Counties Manukau. Stowers stands out to the right by himself, but Guthrie decides to look to the left, where Tomatieni. Now the pass there, and that's a bit of a hospital as well. Rotorua Hospital not too far away.
No clear release. You're...
Tyrone,
Yeah, probably.
well, their foul. It was the player that put the shot on. It was a good one too.
Yeah, a bit unlucky to be penalised, really. You put such a good shot on. Not much the player on the ground's going to do, and they end up getting the penalty.
Kortoin Blavu, the man. There's the shot.
A bit high, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's what it could have been for. You're right.
No, that was the clear release, he said. So,
No, time's off.
He was happy with the tackle.
yeah.
That's the mark. Step down. Good. Subs made. Time's on.
The roll party goes high.
Advantage.
Now the basketball pass out to Guthrie standing at first receiver, and now to Stowers. Up very, very quickly was Alhop. Stowers manages to break out, and then he passes through. Now it's a foot race. Stowers opts to pull back and to look for some support, and it comes in the form of Vaka. We've seen Zam Vaka with the New Zealand Sevens team. Lost the ball forward, though.
Roll.
They didn't roll clear. Stowers taps Numbok. A quick release. They've got players out here to the left. The roll party goes straight. Roll party. The offload. Here's Numbok. He's in.
In the influence
Yep.
of Sherwin
Rolling,
Stowers, who created that lovely play down the right side.
Send them out.
Drew the defender. He got to get rid of a defender that was all over him. He had to pirouette, then get some go forward, drag the defence to the touchline, turn the ball nicely on the inside for Sam Vaka. Real class involved. And then in the end, a relatively simple finish for Numball.
Well, South Canterbury had the opportunity to kill that stone dead right in the off, and they got up on Stowers, but he managed to wriggle away and they were in trouble. They just found another gear in the second half, haven't they? Counties Manukau, and South Canterbury just struggled to go with them. They just haven't really been able to get anything going because they've been defending.
That combination between the two Ardmore representative players or club players and Ropati to Numbo, two big men for Counties Manukau. That scoreline now extended 26 points to 12. So important, other set pieces, the line out, the kickoff and the scrums. And really South Canterbury have struggled there in the kickoffs.
Yeah, well, they're the guaranteed ways of gaining possession of the football. So if you can dominate in those areas, you give yourself every chance. Defence is so hard in sevens. The best way to defend is to have the football.
This is turning into a pretty good start, though, for Counties Manukau. It's a tough pull. They've got Canterbury Bay of plenty still to play.
And Numbo gets rid of a lot to score his second. Counties Manukau's fifth. And the mistake coming from the South Canterbury line-out.
Well, it's a Mack truck on a dinky toy, really, in terms of size comparisons. Too big, too strong, and the defender was no chance up against an athlete much bigger. And at Numbo, as Tony Johnson said, he's been so important and so influential in sevens and in 15s areas. Shows the ball on the outside. Lot, not today, champ. Gets the fan, easy try.
10 now.
It's that beautiful combination of, well, it's the speed, the skill, the guile, and that big smile at the end. That's what makes Fiji so special.
Imagine the conversation going on between our two national sevens coaches there, Sir Gordon Titchens and Sean Horan. Sean Horan in charge of the women's New Zealand sevens team, and of course Sir Gordon Titchens with the All Black sevens. And there is the restart, so they have got some possession, but Counties of Manukau aware of the rules. If they can hold them up, they'll get the turnover here from the scrum.
Taken in.
Intelligent playing.
It is indeed. Use it or lose it rule. There are lots of positive and lots of negatives in
Okay, boys, bind up,
that debate, but this is how you can use it defensively to your advantage. Look at the defenders all over the football. He can't find his way to the ground. Scrum free Counties Manukau, good defence.
Sam Bucker, the first man in there, and he used his power and his strength, and the experience of being in the New Zealand sevens environment certainly has helped us. Guthrie taps and moves on. Guthrie with the step. Guthrie with the step and the pace. What a way to round it off for Counties Manukau.
Well, you can do plenty in this game if you're quick and against the tiring defence at the back end of the match. Jason Guthrie, he's looked really good today. He hasn't had too many opportunities, but he goes to the line, puts a lot of questions to the defence. He's got the footwork, the passing game, and as you've just seen, he's also got the pace to get the job done. There it is from a quick tap. Caught the defence unawares, a right foot step on the last defender, and then over nicely for a good try, Guthrie.
Adds the conversion, and Counties Manukau get the job done in the second half. Great effort from South Canterbury in the first 7 minutes. The quality and the size really starting to take its toll in the second half. Counties Manukau have beaten South Canterbury by 40 points to 12.